Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ROG Pulse. I'm your host, Jake Kalinsky, and joining me here on the show is Jeff Campman. Once again, Jeff, how are you?
Hey, Jake, pretty good.
So, today we've got something that just came in the mail. We actually weren't sure if we were going to be able to do this show because it's hot off the press. We've got the Claymore II in-house, and we're going to be talking about it and getting our hands on and seeing what this device is all about. And Jeff, are you excited about this? Is this something that you would want to work into your setup?
So I've had only a couple hours with this. It came in red hot rush this morning, but I've already taken it apart, toyed with it. I think if you're a 10 keyless keyboard user who also needs a numpad from time to time, you're going to love the configurability of this.
Well, let's just get our
Yeah.
eyes on this
Let's
beauty
take a
right
look.
away, because the Claymore 2, like we are just
Yeah.
saying, this is a keyboard where the numpad is detachable, but not only is it
Yeah.
detachable, but you can move it to the left side if you prefer that, which
Mhm.
is, I'm thinking about just being an FPS player. You want that additional space for your mouse. Bam, you got it.
Yeah, for sure. And we talked about this a while back with the ROG Falchion, which is our 65% keyboard. Where you have, in fact, hold on just a sec. Gonna bring it up. Bring out the Falchion,
So tiny.
put it on screen. Yeah. So the thing about the Falchion is, if you don't need a number pad at all, I think this is a great board for just gamers in general because it is so small, but it doesn't make you give up on stuff like your arrow keys.
Hmm.
But there's no way to attach a numpad to it. There's no way to get the 10 key. So if you do a lot of data entry, you use those keys for as macros, because every one of the keys, or most of the keys on our keyboards, are fully assignable as macros. You use those. You want just a bunch of dedicated control. That's the trade-off you naturally make with the Falchion. Although the touch strip on the side,
Which
it's
is
pretty
cool.
neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can do stuff with that. But there's, as they say, there's no replacement for displacement, and having all these keys available to you is great. But yeah, so you're looking right now at the Claymore in its sort of fully, this is its full regalia essentially. It's got the magnetic wrist rest on it. It's got the numpad over here. And this is the core unit. So yeah, it just looks like a normal 104 key keyboard, right? But wait, so I'm going to take this off. You just push this up a little bit and it snaps.
That is actually quite simple. I wasn't sure how
Yeah.
easily it was going to come off. I didn't know if you're going to have to use a screw, but
Mhm.
it's just a
Yeah.
toggle.
Yeah, it'll just push up. You can see
Okay.
there's these little latches on the side of it. There's the contacts for it. Now, this isn't wireless. It can't function independently of the keyboard. But, you just pull this one other cover off. You can leave the keyboard centered right here. Just bring it up. Pull down. Replace the other magnetic cover. And bring back the wrist rest. And you're in business.
Very cool.
That's all there is to it.
So I have never
Yeah,
in
and
my
you can-
life used a keyboard with the numpad on the left-hand side. And just I want to ask, have you in the past? Is this something you've ever had a
I have
configuration
not.
with?
And they're really unusual. They're really rare. I think there's only a handful of similar ones out there. And so it's just not something that's been readily available.
Right.
When I've gone to shop for keyboards, because I'm, again, I as an inveterate typist, I freely admit I suffer from RSI, and I've always been into sort of the ergonomic keyboard, the latest and greatest in ergonomic keyboards. But as with time, I've come to realize, you don't need something fancy necessarily. You just need like something that doesn't make your arms go in at weird angles or go out at weird angles. And so, yeah, I think the flexibility here is something I could get used to. The numpad under the left hand is something I could get used to. So, but you can
But
also see that.
the initial feeling is like, whoa, this is foreign, I assume.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's that way with
Of course.
every new keyboard. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little foreign, but you can get used to it. I mean, you already type on the you already type with the left hand all the time. It's like, okay, well, now the one is under my pinky, and it's actually more like your stronger fingers, like your thumb, are controlling the inner key over here versus your pinky, like you would have to over here. So it's in a way, it's actually. I'm curious to see how that feels in practice.
So when it comes to this numpad, what do we have in terms of the actual full config for it? So it looks like there's some kind of scroll wheel on the top, 4 different macro switches, and then just a standard numpad. Like, what can we do with the wheel? Can we program that? Like, what are the options here?
So I have Armory Crate open. I am not sure that I have the necessary stuff because, again, we just got this.
Right, literally like hot in the mail.
So I'm going to update this real quick. In theory, each of these keys is fully configurable. I don't know about the volume roller, but each of these keys is fully configurable.
Okay.
So in Armory Crate, you can assign a different thing to each one of these, and they're just slightly clicky. But yeah, those are all fully configurable, and you can assign macros to any of these. We actually have on-the-fly macro recording on this board, so you don't have to worry about going into Armory Crate if you just want to do something real quick. You can do the on-the-fly recording and then save to your profile.
Very convenient. We've made that kind of a standard feature for most of our keyboards at this point, I think, but it's definitely a convenience that you expect when you buy an ROG keyboard.
And the other thing we haven't even mentioned yet, like this is fully wireless.
Yep. The full device. So we do have to again reiterate that the numpad does need to be connected. It does not work standalone wireless. But the keyboard itself is wireless with a battery life of, I want to say,
let me
40 hours, 43 hours, I think is what is the tested.
Yeah, you can, I think there's enough to get, I'm looking up the exact figure, but there's enough battery life here for you to get through about a week with the RGB LEDs running.
That's awesome.
There's a pretty massive battery in here. There's like a 4,000 milliamp hour battery in here. That's like the same size as that's like table stakes for a good smartphone battery life these days.
Does that add any weight to the keyboard? Does it give it additional heft because batteries are never light?
I think the big concern is actually the height that it would add, since you're not picking this up and carrying it most of the time. But we have actually compensated for that a little bit by these are a slightly shorter profile keycap than on our other boards, so like you won't notice the extra height that much in practice. But yeah, the official spec is up to 43 hours with the lights on at 100% brightness. So about a week, depending on how much you use your keyboard, of a good solid battery. Yeah, and it has USB-C. Actually, I can show you this because we have the setup to do it. I'm going to detach the numpad real quick. Comes right off. But you can see we use USB-C for the charging port.
Nice.
There's USB pass-through here that you can enable if you wire up the keyboard.
Okay, so it won't work wirelessly.
I don't think it works wirelessly. I'd have to check, but the nice thing, USB-C charging. I've been fighting with devices recently where it's just like, oh my gosh, I have to go get my USB micro B cable or whatever. It's like, ugh. It just totally kills it. And so, the more USB-C devices you can get in your house, the better, in my opinion.
I mean, we're moving that direction for sure with, more and more peripherals having USB-C and more PCs and motherboards having USB-C built in.
Keras Wireless right here.
I've
USB-C.
got one as well.
It's actually sitting out of my reach, but the Claymore II comes with a really nice thick braided USB-C cable that you can use to charge the board.
Is it just like the Keras Wireless one? Because that's also just a really long. It's even bigger?
It's actually slightly different. Yeah, I think it's even longer. It's a stiffer
okay, a little bit of a thicker. Yeah.
The Keras Wireless cable is like our paracord. It's very mobile. It's very flexible, so that you can use the wired mouse without any issue. But this is stiffer.
So, I mean, let's just kind of like objectify this keyboard. It is giving you more flexibility than any other keyboard we offer by the fact that you can remove the numpad and move it to the opposite side
Hmm.
or take it out of the setup completely. Comes with this
Yeah.
extra long wrist rest for you, and the device is
Hmm.
wired or wireless, up to you. With all of these features, I mean, this is crazy amount of flexibility. We haven't even talked about the switches. This has our new
Yeah.
in-house optical mechanical switches. They come in
Right.
red or blue. I think you got the blue
Mhm.
variant because I'm getting this keyboard after you.
Yes. So
Yes.
this is actually the first time I think I don't I don't even think we've sent one of these out for review. Like this is the very first time like we've had the RX blue switches, and you can't actually. I mean,
I'm excited
I
to try
I,
them because
I
I've
don't want to say you can't see it at all. If I pull off the right key and show you the switch from the side, you might be able to tell from the stabilizer color that they're a little different. It's really hard to see. But
it's more going to be in the feel, that
can
tactile
we
click.
can we pull? Okay, live disassembly. All right. So yeah, you can see this is a bare switch.
Oh yeah, you can see the blue.
Yeah, you can see the blue a little bit. My camera would focus. You can see, but yeah, the cross stabilizers here are blue as opposed to red.
Right.
So you can see all the hallmark features of the RX optical mechanical switch here. We have the square stem, we have the central LED, we have the four corner posts. So this is a really smooth but clicky switch, which Jake prefers. I honestly do not. I think these feel good, but
Yeah.
they are, they're not going to convert me, unfortunately.
Nah, I mean, I've
Um,
always been a big fan of brown switches myself, but when it comes to our new
mhm.
in-house optical mechanical switches, you talked about the four stem that brings a wobble-free feel to the switch, which is really
Yes.
nice because if you guys are at home and you guys have a standard mechanical keyboard that is not with these RX in-house switches that we have, if you jiggle your finger back and forth on like let's just a
Hmm.
random key, you'll notice it wobbles quite a bit. You compare that
Hmm.
to these, and it's quite the difference, and I find that to be really
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah, because less of the energy that you exert on that downward stroke can go into that sideways movement or
Hmm.
that lateral movement. It just presses straight up and down, which I find, it's a small thing, but you multiply that movement over however many,
Oh yeah, it adds up real fast.
yeah. Again, it's just one of those things where if you, you again average that out over however many hours and days, that saved movement can really, I think personally that no scientific basis for this, but it can improve your endurance when you're typing too, especially on the RX Reds. But
Yeah,
even here,
reds are
so these are
definitely
slightly,
less pressure
yeah,
needed.
these are slightly heavier than the Reds. I think they have like a 55-gram actuation force or 65. I can actually just find out here real quick. But they're a little heavier, so if you like a little more heft from your keys, you can get it with these blues, and they are certainly tactile. The actuation point is very clearly felt on this. So
Yeah.
yeah, so those are coming soon. But yeah, all the benefits of the RX Reds just with a clicky tactile design.
So with all these features, there comes a price. This is the most
Correct.
expensive keyboard that we make, if I'm not mistaken, at two
Yeah,
hundred
I do
and
believe so.
$79.99.
269.
269.
99.
Okay.
Now, you're going to hear that number and you might think, oh my gosh, that much money for a keyboard. Now, again, modular keyboards with the configurable numpad, you go out and look for something similar. There are not a lot of them on the market.
They're
It's a
very
competitive
far and
price.
few.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a competitive price for what it is.
Yeah.
And I think, again, if you're looking for this flexibility in your you want a TKL, you want a separate numpad that you can move around, or you just want it on the left. There aren't a lot of even fixed design keyboards with a numpad on the left. So this is and it's wireless and it's RGB LED, and it all adds up.
And
So
I don't
I
want to
think,
go saying
yeah.
our switches are better, but our switches are better. So that's another feature.
Yeah, I think if you we talked about this with the Scope RX too. If you get your hands on the RX optical switches, I think they're in a class of their own in terms of the smoothness, in terms of the just kind of directness of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really, really nice.
No, our peripheral team is killing it. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, this year has probably been the most impressed I've been with ROG peripherals ever, just because doing things like our own in-house switches is a big deal, and they're only in red and blue. As much as I'd want brown, I would rather use these reds or the blues that I'm gonna soon have with this, because the only other keyboard we have that has these switches is the Scope RX, which is what is on my desk right now with red switches, and it's been a gem to use for the last few months.
So now, do you want to hear them?
Oh, do I want to hear? Do we have a decent mic setup for this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
I think we can do it. Okay. Give me just 1 second. I actually can just pivot it in.
Welcome to the ROG ASMR stream.
Let me figure out how to switch these on my interface, and I will be right back.
Okay, so get ready. We're gonna hear the full clickiness, and we can even give the comparison, because I can point my mic down at my red switches. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Okay, you're gonna lose me on the voice.
That's fine.
Real quick.
We don't actually. We only want to hear the keyboard, anyways.
Okay, let's be right back.
So he's adjusting his audio interface to pick up that microphone instead of the other one he's using. You can see the power of NVIDIA Broadcast. It does a really good job green screening him, because he doesn't actually have a green screen. That's why you see his chair flickering. Now it's normalized. And here comes the test. We can't hear you, remember? So I don't know why you're talking. Just get clicking. Oh, it's not working. I hear nothing. Nothing. F to pay respects. Oh no, did the top-down camera freeze? This is tragic. His hands are ghosted. Well, we'll get that sorted in just a few, because that is definitely not the way this is supposed to work. Do we have voice again, Jeff? I think I hear you again. Oh, he's rustling around.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Your top-down camera seems to have frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can. Can you hear me?
Nothing?
No, I hear you. I hear you, but you can't hear me. I'm giving him the thumbs up chat. I hear you.
Oh, boy.
Oh, this is fun. Technology, man. We tried to do something special where he had to use his audio interface to change devices, and it seems to have broken his audio at some point. I hear you, Jeff.
Yeah. The stream PC actually froze. So,
oh,
sorry.
That's what happened. I know that, but you can hear me though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm broadcasting through a separate system.
Got it.
So.
Got it. Yeah, I noticed that camera is a little upset with us, but that's okay.
I'm gonna try take two real quick.
Yeah, we'll get that rebooted. Here. But $269.99 for the Claymore II. This is a keyboard with red or blue RX optical mechanical switches. Let's talk a little bit about the benefits of going with optical mechanical. And again, this is Jeff's camera is going to be a little weird, because this is what happens when production crashes, but that's okay. It's because there's one less camera in the call, so it
the top of my head.
I know, it reorientates everything. I mean, the struggle.
It's coming back. Sorry, guys.
We do things the grassroots way here with production, and it's my favorite way to do things. But anyway, so when you talk about a standard mechanical switch, you have two pieces of metal that are having contact to send the signal of the keystroke. And how does this work with the optical switches?
So when you press down the traditional mechanical key that uses metallic contacts, as you said. There were our stream PCs coming back, although it won't have any signal. Yeah, when you press down a switch with a standard metallic contact, those two pieces of metal just touch one another. And there's a design of the circuit you have to make called a debounce that takes a couple milliseconds to make sure that you actually press the key and that there's a solid signal. And so that adds a little bit of input latency. And so again, that works pretty well in practice. Oh, wheel. We may be in trouble here. It's got to be SOD. Oh well. Anyway.
Oh no.
But yeah. So the optical switches, in contrast, they don't. There's a beam of light running under the plunger of the switch, and so when you push down the switch, that light is just interrupted, and that's all there is to it. It senses that and it transmits the key press. So it's from an electrical signaling perspective, it's ideal because it's just on off. It's close to an ideal switch. So that's really nice. It cuts out those extra couple milliseconds of debounce.
It does. I mean, and we're talking about just kind of pushing technology forward. This is our standard switch is good. Yeah, they've been great, but have they changed in years? Not really. And that's kind of why these were created, because it's like, okay, can we push the latency, dilemma? Can we continue to improve on latency, both with our mice? Our wireless mice are phenomenal nowadays. There's basically zero latency. In fact, they're almost better than a corded mouse just because you don't have the drag of the cord. Now we're looking at keyboards where we're getting faster switch input, we're getting perfect wireless signal, and of course latency on our displays is better than ever. The BSOD has been. Are you overclocking this machine? What are you doing? What?
It is. It may actually. I don't think it has an overclock on it right now. I think we'll talk after. Don't need to. Behind the scenes.
So
technical difficulties.
People were asking if they can purchase this keyboard right now. There is a pre-order link that I posted in the chat that you can use for North America. For other regions, it will become available, but this is all rolling out right now because this is a soon-to-be available keyboard. The pre-orders will be shipping out in about 5 days, but they are not currently available. This is an in-house sample that we got from our headquarters.
Sorry, I'm still.
I just blue screened left and right.
Again. No, it didn't blue screen this time. Discord restarted, probably because there was an update. Yeah, this is not. We're not batting 1,000 here today.
No, it's okay. It was a rushed start. We got this keyboard in the mail, and we wanted to do a show, so here we are.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know if we're going to be able to do the sound.
Yeah,
actually,
don't worry about the sound.
Here. I'll just do this the janky way. I was going to do it the smooth
He's got
way,
a microphone on his shirt, and he's going to lean and over the keyboard.
Okay.
We're ready.
I'm going to turn off broadcast real quick. So shield your ears, because this is a lav mic and it will sound bad. There's lots of cable microphones. Okay.
It sounds like a loud blue switch that your brother has, and you want to hit your brother when he's slamming away at the keys.
But you can hear it, right?
Oh, I can hear it. The whole town can hear it. It's beautiful.
Here's some more.
Yeah. Sounds nice. Nice and clicky. I mean,
see, this is the magic of broadcast. It's doing all this stuff behind the scenes to like equalize your levels and make you sound good. So here's a red by comparison.
It's definitely a lot more quiet. And some of that sharper noise that we're hearing stream is actually just that's not the keyboard, it's just the microphone picking up noise in the space. See, we wanted to do a live demo of audio when, well, we did our best. We did our best.
Yeah, we're benefiting from broadcast again, or at least we should be.
I recropped your camera so that we're not looking at your forehead only.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so there you go. That's the sound of the RX Blue.
So is the
first time it's been demonstrated.
The other PC dead, though? Is it done?
It's I don't want to fool with it.
Okay, we're giving up
any
on it.
further.
It's okay. We were able to show the world these new blue switches. That was a victory in itself. Show off the Claymore 2 a little bit. Guys, we can take some questions. If you have any questions about the Claymore 2, please let us know and we can answer them here, as this is, obviously we just got this, like literally came in the mail a couple hours ago to Jeff's house. I'll be getting hands on it with it in the near future and using it in some of our gaming streams. Every Friday, we typically do gaming streams on our Twitch channel. And just to plug yesterday's stream that we did, we flip-flopped our schedule this week because we were waiting for this keyboard to arrive, but I streamed outdoors. We got a full outdoor setup going where I played Resident Evil on the Strixcar 15 using an outdoor setting by a fire pit and on Wi-Fi. I did a stream on Wi-Fi for the very first time. Dropped 0 frames using the AX11000 router that we make. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect the results to be that good. I'm pleasantly surprised to find out that Wi-Fi can actually be a viable option for live streaming, because I've been live streaming for, I don't know, 10 years and never been a believer of Wi-Fi till now.
The stream PC is back.
I see it. It's beautiful. I'm glad.
So yeah, just in time, or not at all in time, but it's fine.
We can let's take a look at the Mac. Is it going down? Did it crash?
Yeah, it's gone down.
Oh no.
Yeah, something's screwy. I'm gonna have to troubleshoot this after.
Yeah.
The wonders of DIY PC, folks.
Yeah, especially when we're always like tweaking and trying out different setups in settings. But well, I think we might have answered all the questions already, because chat doesn't seem to be definitely buying the red one, but the RX blue one sounds a bit different. I mean, I wouldn't say that the blue has a more premium feel. It depends on what you expect out of the feel of a keyboard, because reds are just going to be an easier press with less resistance per keystroke. The blues are going to have that more resistance, but have there's like a depression point where you feel like the click through. And there's something about that that's always resonated with me, but other people would find that to be a burden. Whereas with me, I find that if I'm idly resting my hands on a keyboard, I might accidentally, press a key and hold an A and I don't even notice it because I've got big, fat, heavy hands.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about the RX Reds too, is that they have kind of a higher initial actuation force, so that you don't have phantom key presses like that. Some speed switches are notorious for that. Like, that's why I can't use silvers on my daily drivers, because I just, you breathe on those keys and they register. But the RX Reds, you can, rest your fingers, no problem, kind of idly tap. And, you don't have a lot of resistance, but you do have to have intent to make a key press. So that's nice. As far as, again, the premium feel is a function, I think, of, the smoothness and the, quality of the actuation. And they definitely feel, I personally think they're some of the best switches I've ever used. So
yeah, I was really quite impressed when I got the red ones. And someone was asking about the Chariot. This is the ROG Chariot. They are available on the ASUS store. I'll link you in the chat right now. But they are for sale currently.
Not any worse for wear after its venture outside yesterday?
No. Well, actually, one of the things I like about this chair is all the wheels have their own locks. So since I was kind of on a hill, I was able to lock every wheel and not go rolling down the slight, slope that I was streaming on and fall into the fire pit, which would have been less than ideal. Yeah,
for sure.
What are the keys like? Response time, sensitivity, and that sort of thing. So, so the keys are, these are the blue switches. They are optical mechanical switches, so they're very fast. I don't know the exact response time. Do we have data to support that?
As far as the total input latency, again, because of the optical design, like the amount of latency the keyboard itself is adding, minimal.
Yeah.
Negligible.
I mean, they are faster than your traditional key. That's why we created these optical mechanical switches.
Right. Your total input lag is a function of a lot of stuff. The signal has to go to the PC, your CPU has to process it, your game loop has to process it. That we we give you ways of measuring that. We have our monitors, the PG259QNR, the 360 hertz display with the reflex latency analyzer, can help you minimize that total system latency. But yeah, the key switches themselves, I mean, the optical technology makes it practically instantaneous. So
when are we going to do our own in-house switches for mice? That is a great question. We do currently offer hot swappable switches in mice, which is really nice because if you bought a Keras wireless and your left click died, because after time it will die after so many million clicks, you can replace them. But do we have anything in-house? No. Will we make them? Who knows? It's always a possibility.
the in-house, actually the latest mice, the Gladius 3 and the Keras, I believe they come with ROG mouse switches too.
Yeah. I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah. Traditionally, we've used Omrons. We've used, I think we transitioned with the Gladius 3 and Keras to our own design.
That is actually awesome. I learned something new today, chat. Thank you.
They feel pretty, they feel good. I'm clicking one right now.
Yeah, I've got the Keras here. I guess these must be in-house. Cool. Well, the keyboard, does it have rage resistance? That's a great question. Now, I mean, it's durable. Look at it. It's got, I mean, we can't look at it anymore. The camera died on us. It does have heft. But I don't know if we rate our keyboards for its nerd rage armor.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. It's got an aluminum top cover. Yeah, it does have an aluminum top cover. I cannot provoke any flex.
I mean, I think that's probably the best answer we can give you guys. Well, Jeff, any final thoughts on the keyboard? It is indeed a wireless keyboard. Jotaro asks if it's wireless, and yes, it is. You can use it wired or wireless, up to you. The numpad is something that is.
I would not suggest that you pound on your keyboard or stuff like that.
We can never suggest that you pound on a keyboard. But yeah, no, it's also. It's got the wired mode if you want and the wireless, but the numpad, which is detachable, does not work standalone. We do have to point that out, that it does require a connection on the left or right side of the keyboard to actually function. Is your mic gone?
And it should be.
You're good. Okay. Well, I think we can wrap things up here. I mean, we've run into more production issues than ever, so apologies for that, guys. This was kind of pieced together last minute as we just got this keyboard in. Jeff, any final thoughts on the Claymore II? You gonna hang on to it for a while? Or you gonna send it straight to me?
Well, I'm probably gonna get some more hands-on time with it this weekend.
Okay.
And really break it in for you.
That's fine.
We'll send it on.
Well, guys,
so just look for it on ROG Plays in the near future.
Awesome. Well, guys, we have only recently started doing these live streams on YouTube. So if you tuned in from YouTube, this is our first time doing Pulse live on YouTube. So welcome and thank you for tuning in. We'll be doing these every single Thursday. Typically, this is a Thursday show. And Tuesdays, we do our gaming podcast. We just kind of sit down and talk about a random video game. Next Tuesday, we'll be talking about Resident Evil 8. I'm going to be sitting down with one of our writers, Eric Bourne, to just kind of nerd out about the game and just have fun and see how other people feel about the game, because it's a lot of fun. We also do live streams that are gameplay streams on Fridays on the Twitch channel only. That's on Twitch. If you don't currently follow our Twitch, go over to twitch.tv/AsusROG and hit the follow button there. But yeah, we're going to be building this up on YouTube more and more for the live stream. So thank you guys for tuning in. And until next time, we'll see you later. Take care.
Take care.
There's so